Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. Hope you are all well and safe and having a great day. My day's all right, it's pretty good. The last couple of weeks, however, have not been quite so good. I've had a bit of a rough time coping with the most recent lockdown in the UK, and my creative juices just dried up and I didn't do anything for quite a while. However, this little sketch here helped me work through that pretty grim time, and I thought it might be an experience worth sharing with you and explaining how this little drawing helped me get back on track. So here we go. So, how are you coping with the lockdown if you're in the UK, or just general COVID restrictions in the rest of the world? It sounds like I've got a cough, but I haven't, so I'm okay. I've been pretty upbeat about the whole thing up until now. I generally can sort of put that to one side, and my lifestyle hasn't been difficult for me to cope with lockdown, because I've been sort of locked away in my studio, which is pretty much what I do all the time anyway. And I have been on an absolute roll coming up to the recent lockdown. I was really on it. I was making loads of YouTube videos. I was sort of a couple of weeks in front with those, but more importantly, I was doing lots and lots of traditional art as well. I sort of got into pastels, and I was uploading images every other day on Instagram, and I've never been on a roll like it. I was really on a high, and then the lockdown came, and I wasn't prepared for what happened in actual fact, or what happened to me mentally. I just totally shut down. I don't know if it's because I've been working so hard, and it was just sort of a trigger that sort of switched on, and I just shut down, and I totally lost my creative flow. I just couldn't face going into the studio. I didn't come in here for a week or so, well, nearly a week, and when I did, I wasn't painting. I was just looking at YouTube videos of other artists and following the news, because I'm sort of avid follower of the news, so I was watching a lot of news videos and getting more depressed and more down, thinking, what am I going to do? Am I ever going to pick up a paintbrush again? So I'm just wondering how you guys are feeling. How are you coping with the lockdown, or all of the bad news about the COVID virus? Are you finding art a source of comfort to help you through the hard times? Are you finding that your creativeness is disappearing like mine has? When I say as, it's kind of coming back. How did I cope with it? What did I do to sort of get me out of the doldrums, as it were? Because I was really scared. The last time I had a creative block, it lasted nearly 15 years. And I literally didn't touch. I was going from doing exhibitions, teaching art in adult education, running private classes, and having one-man exhibitions and things, and that just sort of stopped overnight because of my personal situation, and it didn't start again for 15 years. So I was thinking, oh God, don't say I'm going down that route. I don't want to. I'm just getting it back together. The COVID thing totally has bowled me over. So I was sitting miserable and forlorn and hopeless for about 3 days. Special K has been brilliant. She's not sort of got on at me or pestered me or said, get off your arse, you lazy toad, you need to pull yourself together, or anything like that. She's just left me alone. And I've sort of contemplated life and thought about things. And I thought, you know, I've got to do something. I do not want to totally collapse under this pressure. So what did I do? What did I do to help me pull myself together? Well, I opened my iPad. I was sat in it. I didn't move out of the chair I was in. I just leant over and picked up my iPad, feeling pretty miserable and all of that, and a bit hopeless. And I picked up my iPad and I opened ZenBrush 3. And as you can see, I am doing this little drawing in ZenBrush 3. And it was the perfect solution for my, I suppose, depression. Because ZenBrush 3, you ain't got many undos on this thing. You got a couple or three undos. It does a lot of its own thing, the app. You just got to sort of get a brush stroke on there, get it in the right place once, and leave it. So I just started doodling this. This isn't a scene in particular. It was just an idea that I just started sketching. And you know what? I got totally wrapped up in it. And I started sort of painting in these trees. And I don't know if you noticed, if you didn't, just go back and have a look. I painted the trees as though they were growing from the bottom. I painted the grass first, and then I painted the trunks and took them up like they were growing up into the sky. And that was kind of lifting my mood. So it was a very, I don't know what the word is. It just felt right that what I was doing was a release of this depression that I was feeling. And I got totally wrapped up in it because of the nature of the ZenBrush, where you put on a brush mark and leave it because you're satisfied with it. And you can see now I'm sort of painting in these leaves, and I took my time painting each leaf, each one at a time. And then after doing a few, swapping to the water brush and just putting a little bit of water, pulling some water in between the leaves. And it was a real, I mean, normally this would probably be quite monotonous, but it was very relaxing, and it took my mind away from all of that. And the old drawings has taken me about 20 minutes. So I sort of continued with these leaves, and I was thinking about the perspective and how they would get a little bit smaller as I was moving further back. And as I progressed through the painting or the sketch or drawing or whatever it is, I'm not sure what you would call it, all of the stress that I was feeling was drifting away and leaving me. And I was starting to think about the actual process of the drawing and how I wanted it to work, and how these leaves were going to take shape. And you can see that they are now like getting a little bit smaller as I'm moving further back, doing some sort of random leaf shapes and then some little squiggles and things, but much more care taken about these than I normally would. Even though they are these little random shapes, I was placing each leaf in really carefully, with a lot of thought and feeling, and all of this stress was just floating away. And I continued like that until I'd got all of these leaves in, and my mind was getting back onto feeling a good way, but it wasn't like that straightforward, because I kept feeling like it's because I kept sneaking in there that, this is nice, this is going well, but you're still depressed, Steve. You still don't really want to do anything. But I persevered with it, and I continued, and I carried on till I'd got the old sketch finished. And at that point, I saved off the image, showed it to Special K, who actually said she really loved it. She totally loved it, which surprised me, because it's just a tiny little sketch, nothing really too spectacular. And I didn't feel particularly well straight away, but you know what? Just doing that has spurred me on to make me think, okay, I've finished one piece. I've got through that block with something that I actually really like, even though it's really simple. I could imagine that being printed on a t-shirt or something like that, which would be quite cool. So that was my first drawing for quite a few days, really, and it lifted a lot of pressure that I was feeling, because all the questions that I was asking myself weren't anything to do with the COVID thing. Yeah, the lockdown was what triggered how I was feeling, but then I started to doubt whether I would, be able to get back into painting, but I did. And now I'm recording the audio for this after another video I've made. So I've done another digital watercolor painting, and I'm now looking over at my easel thinking, do you know what, I want to get another pastel painting done. So honestly, the art has once again come through for me, and been absolutely critical in me getting through a pretty miserable few days and times, and hopefully I'm going to keep painting and progressing forward. So I'd love to hear your stories. I hope you are using art in a similar way to help you through all the pressure and stress that we're feeling. And if you're not, I honestly urge you to have a go, because once I got into this and I was drawing these leaves and the trees and all of it, really, I totally forgot all about that, all of the stress and pressures that I was under. Not that there was under any pressure or stress, it just pressure or stress or pressure. It was just sort of self-imposed, really, I guess. But it really helped me sort of put all of those demons to bed and get me back on track. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. I didn't want to I don't normally talk about my personal life much, unless it's about Killian, of course, who's my grandson, or if I'm doing a portrait of Special K or something like that, I might touch on it. But usually I don't want to burden anybody with how I'm feeling or my problems, because to be honest, I don't normally have too many. I'm usually pretty level-headed, but I was taken totally by surprise by the lockdown and how I felt. And I feel so sorry for anybody that has suffered a loss. I can't imagine how that would feel. We've been really lucky where I live. I don't know anybody. Well, actually, I do know a few people, sort of distant people, that have passed away because of the COVID virus, and one or two people that have been ill, but not that many, only a couple. And I don't know anybody really close that has caught the virus. So where I live, in this little village, we've been really, really lucky. We are close to a couple of cities that have, had real bad cases of it. But personally, it hasn't touched us too much, other than the inconvenience of not being able to get toilet roll and rice and spaghetti. But apart from that, we have been pretty untouched. So I don't know why I was whinging, really, or I felt so down. But anyway, there we go. All I'm saying is, if you are struggling, try and do a little bit of art, whether it's a sketch. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. I didn't choose to go in the studio and do something spectacular, because I know I couldn't. There's no way I could paint anything of decent. I've tried. In fact, I did try the last couple of days before I sort of stopped painting entirely. I'd done a couple of pastels and they were awful. They were dreadful. There was just nothing coming from me at all. So just stepping back and just doodling, really, and not without any expectation, just using the whatever it is, pencil, stylus, or whatever you're using, and getting the feeling of it again, and just the sheer joy of producing something, and not actually producing it, but going through the process of the drawing was just so nice that it made a huge difference. So I've waffled a lot and talked a bit about some real personal stuff that I don't normally talk about. I hope I post this video. I hope I don't bottle out. You will know if I have, because you'll be watching it. So thank you so much for watching this. If you are still with me, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's really different to what I normally talk about or show. There's no real lesson in this, other than that, art is a medicine. I think so. Anyway, so if you have enjoyed the video, big thumbs up as always is much appreciated. Don't forget, everybody, stay safe, stay sane, and keep painting. And I am going to try and do that too. And hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Bye.